Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Geek Blend, and welcome to our weekly Orville review that we call the Orville Quantum Dive. This week it is Season 1, Episode 7, Majority Rule. So we just finished watching the episode. Greg, what are your initial thoughts after the episode ended?
This is my favorite episode so far. I loved this episode. What a great story. What an interesting way to tell it. Loved it.
I agree. It wasn't my favorite episode, but it might be tied with that so far. It is really good. I love the story. I loved how they approached the other society, and it just everything worked. The comedy, the storyline, everything worked for me, the whole thing. So basically, the Orville goes to another planet. It's basically the same as 21st century Earth. And they're looking for anthropologists the Union sent down to investigate this planet and kind of study them. They go missing, and the Orville crew has to go down. And something happens, and John Lamar basically gets outed by the mob rule. So this society, they all wear badges, and it's a red down arrow and a green up arrow. So if somebody likes what you did or dislikes what you did, depending on what it is, they push that button on your badge. So basically, this is real life Twitter. So they either upvote you or downvote you because it's just basically a mob rule. It's very intriguing.
Yeah, it's entirely mob rule. It's very much the Twitter world. The way the society works is if you achieve 1 million downvotes, you essentially get put on trial. And you have to go through this apology tour. And what happens is you go on these like network shows that there's this thing in this world called The Feed, which is, I guess, just think about it as just a worldwide Twitter feed where everybody can see everybody's posts. You don't have to follow anybody. When you go on this, you have to go on these like daytime talk shows and apologize for whatever thing you did to offend the mob. And if you accumulate 10 million downvotes during your apology tour, you're deemed guilty and you have to go through reconditioning. And what reconditioning is basically you become completely lobotomized. So it is, in a way, a death sentence for your personality, or what was your personality. These anthropologists that they were looking for, the reason they went missing or stopped reporting was they got downvoted too much. And they went through this conditioning process. And their crime was somebody shot basically cell phone footage of them not yielding their seat on a public transit to a pregnant lady. And for that, the mob sentenced them to a lobotomy or reconditioning in their world. Now, what Lamar did was he disrespected a statue. He was making kind of crude sexual gyrations to the statue of this heralded person in their society, and it went viral in that world, and everybody started downvoting it. So they're asking around about where these things are, and all of a sudden his badge just starts going nuts, and boom, he's at 1 million downvotes because it went to the feed and everybody, I guess, retweeted, and that's how he ended up getting in trouble.
It's basically cancel culture
to an extreme degree, and it's not even like a heinous crime.
No, literally the two people, because they did not give up their seat to a pregnant woman, which they probably didn't see, as you can tell by the picture they're shown. It's funny when she shows the picture to the person they kind of, connect with on that planet. She's like, oh my God, what they did was amazing. It was incredibly bad. It was so bad. And then she shows that picture and I'm like, huh? That's what they did? Yeah. Lacella, who's she's like, I think she's like a waitress or something on that.
Yeah. She's a barista in a coffee shop, basically.
Barista. Yeah. But yeah, the fact that, you get retweeted or you get on the feed, it gets, reposted multiple times. And then the mob votes, and you go under 1 million votes. You have to go on an apology tour. And you basically, this person came in who we assume is a lawyer because of what we know. Mm-hmm. It's not. It's a personality. What did he call himself?
He's a publicity agent.
Publicity agent is what he called. Yes, a publicity agent. So you get a publicity agent to come in and try to get you on these talk shows so you can get your upvotes back. So you don't get to 10 million downvotes, because if you get that, then you get corrected. So the Orville has to come up with a way to stop this. And basically this guy who's his, the guy that's working with him, that they appoint him, doesn't do a very good job at all, because he doesn't even explain to him who the person in the statue is. So the first show he's on, they're like, so what is it? What did that person do that, made her such a hero, made her, worthy of a statue? He's like, oh, she did some things and some stuff. He's very vague about it. And of course, they're literally like, name one thing she did. And he said literally like, She saved like the whale forest or something, and yeah, right there, downvotes went down like absolutely. But yeah, so 2 shows he didn't do a very good job on at all.
He had almost 4 million downvotes.
Yeah.
After the first show. Now, this whole system is really rigged against the accused. So the publicity agents are portrayed as not being particularly competent, and these talk shows are designed to not help you do these things. Like every one of these hosts that he went on these shows for immediately set him up to get downvotes.
Yeah.
The one host on I guess the equivalent would be like their plan's version of The View. Like as soon as he gets out there, he sits in his chair, the one host gets up, stands up, and then goes over and pushes his downvote button before even starting the interview. So everything is kind of, once you get to the million, the whole system is rigged to really kind of push the mob to downvote you. Like it seems like not many people survive the downvote process or this whole process. So it was really fascinating. And to me, this is how you do an analogy to modern world. Like it's very much, it's pretty on the nose that this is kind of Twitter. This is cancel culture. This is what this show's statement about it. But you do it from the perspective of you visit some other world and you interact with them that way. You can do these analogs in these type of science fiction shows without making the Union, or in Star Trek's case, the Federation, the bad guys, and kind of explore it from this extreme angle of like, let's take Twitter cancel culture, mob rule to like the 10th level and see what would happen. Like let's change our entire justice system to that, and what would the world look like, and just kind of show like this is the world you're creating if you keep going down this route. To me, it's what represents great Star Trek, great science fiction. To these people on this planet, that's the normal. The truth is whatever the mob says. And they have this discussion where they're talking to this girl, because what happens is they end up having to reveal themselves to this barista girl. Because Alara ends up almost getting herself in the same kind of trouble because she was appropriating another culture's hat.
Yeah, so they end up saving him, and he gets out of there, and they get back up there, of course, and she, the barista tells them like, "Oh, nobody's going to believe me. What am I supposed to do?" And she's like, "Maybe help your society move forward in a better, positive way." That's basically, how to get this to be a better society. And I really liked it. It's funny too because it aired 2017, and it's more relevant today than it was then. Way more relevant because of cancel culture is so out of control at the moment that it's more relevant now than it was when it aired.
This is the kind of stuff that I really enjoyed Star Trek for. This exploring these like what if Earth went this direction kind of stories.
It's one of those things that you think about and you're like, wow, we need to really kind of reassess our society and figure out how we can get to the point where we don't end up like this, because if we continue down this path, we will. But I really liked the episode. I thought it was very sci-fi, very, from what not being a Star Trek person, even hearing about Star Trek, it felt like a Star Trek kind of thing where, they're trying to get help from the Union. And then the Union says, no, you have to adhere to the laws of this planet because you don't want to cause any kind of problems that would interrupt the society on their natural evolution and development.
Right. And, very important to kind of point out or remind people, if you haven't seen the episode, is this society that they visit doesn't have space travel. They don't know of the Union. They think they're alone in the universe at this point. So if the Union kind of came in there and busted them up or revealed themselves, I mean, that's a dramatic change to their society. But really, I thought it was a well done episode. Me
too. All the humor landed. Story was great. The way they did it, everything in it worked for me. It was one of the best episodes so far. After thinking about it a little bit more, it might end up being my favorite, but it's tied with another one. But it was just fantastic all around. And I loved it. I'm looking forward to more episodes like this down the road.
Yeah, I'm really excited after watching this one. I was excited watching it. I'm like, oh man, I like this whole downvote thing. It fascinated me. I said, I really like this, like what if Earth went this direction kind of story. Yeah. And you saw that in Star Trek quite a bit.
Yeah, it was really good. And I wanted to thank you all for being very patient with us this week. We didn't get it out on our normal day, but life just got in the way this week for both of us, and we just actually couldn't record until today. So we do appreciate you guys being patient for the episode, and I think we're going to try to record some next week and kind of build up a stash, like a cache of episodes, so we can kind of start putting them out, and we won't get behind. But We do appreciate everyone watching these videos. We really like watching the series. And now after this episode especially, and some of the other episodes before this, I'm more invested than I was before. So I can't wait for next week's episode. I'm excited.
Me too.
So thank you guys for watching our Orville Quantum Dive that we do every week for the Orville. We are on season 1, so episode 8 is next. We will see you guys next week for that. Thank you again for Greg for joining me. I appreciate it.
Happy to be here.
And if you guys wouldn't mind liking the video and subscribe if you want to see some more from us, we would appreciate that as well. And turn the bell on for notifications so you can stay updated on all the episodes of the Orville Quantum Dive when they are released. And thank you guys for watching. Again, we will see you in the next episode. I'm Jeff, and this is the Geek Blend. And remember, if you geek about it, we'll speak about it. See you guys next time.